begun? I believe we have begun. Okay. It is late. It is 20 past 1 in the morning. I really should go to sleep, but I wanted to do this, and I've been thinking about it all evening, but I need to go and get petrol and do other stuff, and so I got distracted. Also did some painting because I wanted to play a second game of Majestic 13, and I need a little, a tall miniature, which is a psionic. So I printed an Intellect Devour, very big. So an Intellect Devour normally has like a 20mm base. I printed so as it fits on a 55mm base, so it's quite large. And then I used some speed paints. It needs to dry, be varnished, and really, because it's quite big, so it hasn't got deep recesses, so speed paints don't show up very well. So I've given it a bit of a dry brush to highlight stuff, but it still isn't popping. So I'm going to give it a bit of a wash, I think. And then it should be good to go, which I can do tomorrow morning. I can do first things tomorrow morning, so then I'm going to go to Big W. But enough about me. So, we are session 7 of Aija Legrand's journey through Stygon Moor, trying to find out about the Tyrannid cult, ultimately. But we've got nothing about that, so maybe I'm going to have to start interpreting some of those oracle reads in that direction just to have that over arc. But her I always do this at the beginning, but their current focus is trying to work out what's going on with the criminal syndicate that they have chased into this sector of Stygon Moor, which is the planet of Kobold, and specifically a agricultural medicinal, but I termed it a research settlement because it's quite small, research settlement called Ramshackle. There was a shenanigans occurred. We found that they were dumping some form of waste, be it biological or chemical, in crates. It was deadly archive, which was killing the moss. We found some of that. We didn't complete that expedition successfully, so we're going to have to go back in. The Mayor of Ramshackle said that they would be happy to move those crates out, but they need us to go and explore the vault, which I wanted to do anyway. There are some vault hunters that have come up and disappeared. We've docked with this large, what would it be called? It would be called a megalith, a very large structure, maybe megalith. I can't bother looking up. Large, with loads of spires, black obsidian, nano transforming exterior, so it moved around, doors opened, windows open. It looks like a black obsidian, but with metallic, with grooves and pits. So we've gone into it. We don't know the purpose. There's a lack of gravity within here, and there's this thumping, droning sort of sound that's going on. I saw a video today, which was apparently, I think it was taken in July 2023. I'm going to Google this because it might be interesting if anyone ever sees this. So hold on, that's Muslim game. So I was going to buy some stuff for there because tomorrow is, or today now is RPG day. And I was going to use their sale, get some stuff. What was it? It was very cool. There was some trumpeting sounds coming out of the sky in Siberia. Sorry. So it is, there we are. No, I'll search YouTube then. Sorry, I'm going to pause and then I'll come back. Right, found it. Okay, so nobody ever sees this. It'll be quite sad. So this is June the 17th, 2023. You can see the reflection of my living room. Google it. June.
This next one is a few years old, but it went semi-viral this month, and it's one I've never seen before. So maybe it's new.
June the 17th, 2023. Anyway, back to what's in hand. So, noises like that are going inside this vault. So there's this ominous trumpeting, thumping, droning type sound going. I had just gone through, so I has docked. There's no, so that if there's someone else we roll for it, and the craft that the hunters are here isn't here, and no other craft, so there could be pirates or the criminal syndicate could be trying to loot the vault. Presumably it's been here a while, but nobody would have gone to it. Maybe so. I'm assuming it's big. I'll get around to the next bit. So Aija has opened up the inner door, and as the door opened there was a blinding light, because I failed the roll as a miss. A blinding light, so Aija moves in, picks up their stuff and moves in through the blinding light, and will be receiving a minus on the next roll, which how it goes for an expedition is you roll undertake an expedition, which is your journey to the next waypoint, and then depending on what you roll and how you interpret it, you have explore a waypoint. There's potential that you could make a discovery, and there's a potential that you could confront chaos. And so we'll be doing that. So we'll be going to waypoints, and we'll track each waypoint as we find a waypoint. How expeditions work is when you are discovering the waypoint, so we will roll the interior feature for each waypoint, and as we do that we could roll transition into the sanctum, which means we have found the sanctum straight away. The sanctum is the end of the vault. There's the outside first look, there's the inside first look, there's the interior as you progress through, and finally there is the inner sanctum. And in the inner sanctum weird stuff normally is happening. It's particularly, I think it would be a particularly weird sanctum because we've already got, there's no gravity in here, and there should be. There is this weird noise, there's this blinding light, so whatever the inner sanctum is going to be, this will be a weird vault, I think. So you progress through, you either find the sanctum when you roll finding the sanctum, or after you've cleared your 6th box. So I might do a line there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's where we will find the sanctum, and then finish exploring the sanctum, and then close on the expedition. It's an extreme expedition, so that means 2 ticks per success when it says to mark a milestone. So it's going to be this session and probably next session as well, unless I roll sanctum, which means that we might fail in the quest. One of the things that we're also doing is we're creating a map to then give back to the quartermaster to try and win the quartermaster over. I can't remember if I created a quartermaster track. I don't think I did. We're trying to do this to ultimately we're trying to just find out about the criminal syndicate, but at the moment we're exploring this vault which is here, and I also rolled that there might be lots of vaults in Stygen Moor. So we have recapped what we're doing, we have set the scene for what we're doing. We will begin the session. So let's have our standard begin the session flashback. 29 influential character or faction is introduced or given a new detail. Alright, so I know, let's give our Vault Hunters a bit of a detail. So we will cut to a scene. This is the Starsmith book of oracles. I was reading through them. They're really good. So we have factions. There's some faction tables, additional faction tables. We have our Vault Hunters. We know what they are. I believe they were a fringe group. No, I suppose they'd be a guild, wouldn't they? They're a guild, organised specialists. So we know what they are, so I don't need to roll what they are. We know what their role is. What could we find out? We would guess field of study. That might tell us what they're here for. How about faction projects? Relationships? Ooh. I am drawn. Faction rumours. No, we've not got anyone. Faction quirks. No, not yet, because we haven't really encountered them yet. So I'm drawn between faction projects and relationships. Either might show faction projects might be, so I'm going to roll. Let's ask the Oracle. 50-50. Oracle, are we going to find out about projects? 55. No, it's going to be relationships. So we will have a look at relationships. We will roll on the relationships table, which is there'll be two things that we will learn. And we'll do a cut scene. We'll do a flashback scene of them somewhere in the vault doing something which will link to this relationship thing. So we have table 555 again. Table 555 is kept in check by. Okay, I think we can all think of something to do that. And the next one is table 459. Table 459 keeps in check. Kept in check by, keeps in check. Doesn't really work. 120. Table 120 does business with. Alright. Well, I think it would pay dividends if we are, because we've got these two organisations that they are both together at the moment. So the Crime Syndicate, what was that? That was 20, wasn't it? Does business with. Okay, so the Crime Syndicate, and the Hunters are working together to raid the vault, which means that my sibling is working with the Crime Syndicate at the moment. So if we do bump into them, there might be, because this Crime Syndicate will not be happy to see a paladin. Crime Syndicate has sent an enforcer to keep an eye on the Vault Hunters. So the Vault Hunters is normally the Vault Hunters are a quite law-abiding and upright society. They're a bit Indiana Jonesy, a bit Tomb Raidery. They preserve and they investigate the technology in the. I can't remember if they're primordial or precursor. Now I did find out the other day that the primordials, which is probably where this comes from, that allegedly, I think it's Plato, wrote about the civilization that came before, which is basically the Atlanteans, which is also mentioned in some Egyptian texts, and the Egyptians refer to them as the primordials, the ones that came before. So there was, there's lots of evidence that there was a flood. There are flood myths from around the same period of time all over the world, and from times where people couldn't have communicated these myths to each other. Well, not easily, but they could have, because people travelled around the world, so stories would have spread. But there's signs. Oh, anyway, it's Graham Hancock, Ancient Apocalypse, another thing. So, episode begins. There is a scene. There are people in jumpsuits, with a symbol badge, which I can't think of what the symbol is. So we need. I'll ask ChatGPT or Midjourney to do a Vault Hunter logo. That's what we do. I'll get Midjourney to do us a Vault Hunter logo. And they are stuck in a chamber, which 82 number 4. Okay, so this is uninvited visions of the past. So they're stuck in a chamber. They're starting to. So it's a standard. There's lots of wires and pipes. There's pulsing lights. There we can hear that droning hum. There's a handful of them, and they're starting to fiddle with some devices to attempt to get through a doorway. There's a big dude who's wearing body armor, who looks armed to the teeth. He isn't wearing the same logo as they are. We notice that he has that same tattoo, but on the side of his face. He turns to them and says, "Stop mucking around with that. Let's get to the sanctum. We want to get what this place has got and get out. That's what my boss said you were here to do. That's what I'm here to help you do. Let's get moving." As one of them's going, "No, I've almost got it. I've almost got it." There's a strange hiss and a fuzz, and then he has this dude who's doing. It's not necessary. I'm just. I wonder if I was female, would I say she more than he? Don't know. But when I do, whenever I say he in that context, it's not necessarily a masculine male person. It can be anything you like. These are all throwaway NPCs. He's fiddling around with the circuitry. They seem to go into eyes roll back, have a bit of a fit and a shock. They're starting to call out and thrash, and their friends pin them down, give them a shot, and they all look a bit worried as the door then ominously begins to open up, and the noise of the thumping, droning sound, that trumpeting drone becomes louder as the door opens up to another bright light. And as the camera focuses on that bright light, we then come back to Aija, who is in their bright light moving forwards. There we go. I've envisaged a scene, and I can get my 1 momentum reward. Thank you. So, Aija is going to continue with their expedition through this precursor primordial vault, and find what I can find in the next 40 odd minutes. So, Aija is nervous and is moving forwards. Does Aija need to keep under the radar? Not really. Aija can't move at speed, because there's this bright light that Aija is attempting to make their way through. So what we have left in the undertake an expedition category is wits. So Aija moves towards waypoint 2. So we've got a 2 for wits, but we have a -1, so this is +1. Oh, that's not good. So +1 gives us 7, so that's a good roll for us, but we've got a 9 and 0, so that's a miss. So this is a miss. You're waylaid by a crisis or arrive at the waypoint to confront an immediate hardship or threat. Do not mark progress. Okay, pay the price. So let's roll for our interior feature, and then we might. So we're not. So it wasn't. It was almost a matched foul, which is chaos. Then we might roll on the pay the price and see what the pay the price comes up with. Though I've got a thought, which is potentially because there's no gravity, maybe we've entered an area with no oxygen, and so our paying the prices will take damage, and then we will attempt to endure that damage. So first off, our internal feature, what does it look like? Table 5, 96. So table 5, 96. 96 is rolled twice. Okay. So we have table 371. Let's see if I can move that back a bit. No, it's just bad positioning. Table 371, and oops, and sorry, I should have left that. And table 193. So table 371, swarm of nanites. Okay. And then table 193, table 1, descriptive focus. So we've got all right. So it's not going to be oxygen. It's going to be a swarm of nanites. A swarm of nanites. Attack. Aija. 524. Defensive. Okay. Yep. That works. Isn't that amazing how this works? 450. 450. Hologram. Oh, okay. All right. So it's not going to be health. It's going to be spirit. So this Aija moves through the light and into another light room, and the light begins to pulse at a certain frequency. That frequency matching with the brain waves in Aija's mind. Aija sees themselves in a swamp, and is trying to drag their feet through the swamp, but it feels weird because it looks like it should be feeling wet, but Aija doesn't feel that. And then all of a sudden, Aija is being attacked by these gnats, or these nanite machines have come out of the swamp and are just beginning to attack Aija. Aija falls back and he's screaming and he's fighting them off as the illusion begins to fade away, and the light begins to stop pulsing and just stays there being a tiring, blinding light. So what Aija is taking the stress of being attacked by this hologram. So instead of taking physical, Aija will take stress. So Aija will take -2 stress, 2 spirit rather, which is a sorry. There we go. Which means Aija will try and endure the stress facing that mental shock and the mental pain, which is so what do we suffer minus one? So this is serious, so it's -2. Aya then attempts to resist the stress, which is rolling spirit or heart, whichever is higher. They're both 3. So that gives us a 6 versus a 3, which is a weak hit. If we are not shaken, so not being shaken, we can lose 1 momentum in exchange for +1 spirit. Okay, so Aya will rise to one knee, cover over their eyes, and just basically do their breathing technique that they were taught. We'll have a minor scene of Aya's mother standing over them with their hand on their head, with her hand on Aya's head, saying, "Now, you can control this, Aya. Breathe. Breathe through the panic, Aya. Breathe in, counting 4. Hold 4. Breathe out, counting 4. Hold 4." And then we will cut back to Aya raising up onto both feet. Nanite hologram attacks Aya. As Aya begins to push forwards through the light, slowly taking their time, attempting to tap Aya's foot forwards, trying to find a way out of this room of blinding light. So Aya is staying vigilant, so it's wits again. So not with a minus this time. We have this light is not doing well for Aya. So Aya is with wits is a +2, so that gives us 6, matching the 6 but not the 0. But a match isn't good enough, it needs to beat. So that's another weak foul. So possibly, I mean, let's roll again and see what. So we're in the same room. We'll do the interior feature. Let's do an interior feature. We have 324. 324 garbled logs of ill omen. Okay. So we will get in a variety of different. So this is another stress thing. So overwhelming Aya's senses in this room is various just recordings of various different languages and types of voices, and some are mechanical and some are organic, and some are in languages that Aya understands, and some are in languages that Aya has no idea how to understand. Ancient guttural languages in tongues that you should not understand and you should never hear. All of these people sound scared. All of these people sound panicked. All of these people sound terrified for their lives, terrified for what will come next. All of these sounds overwhelm Aya, and Aya tries to stay calm, tries to remain calm. So Aya will lose 2 more spirit, and Aya will attempt to hold on to themselves, try and attempt to remember those times where Aya felt this panic, Aya felt this overwhelming fear, but Aya confronted that fear, and Aya attempts to endure the stress. What is it? That's heart, isn't it? That gives me a strong hit, I do believe. First one for the session, actually first success. Well, no, we succeeded last. Okay, so Aya took -2, not this one, -2 stress, spirit, because Aija is under serious stress. We are rolling plus heart because heart is higher than stress. So that gives us a 6. So that's a 6. Beats the 5, beats the 4. That's a strong hit. Choose one. Shake it off. If you are not shaken, take +1 spirit. Embrace the darkness, +1 momentum. So Aija is going to remember their breathing, remember their mother's words, and take +1 spirit to go to 3 spirit. So Aija is now on 4 health, 3 spirit, 3 supply, 2 momentum. I can hold that up. Probably at some point, if I do decide to post this, I'll have to do editing and put a graphic on to show these things. But then you won't hear my wittering because I'll have to edit out. Okay, so waypoint 3. Bombarded by voices from the past. Maybe this is a corridor. This feels like a corridor, although I can't feel the sides on either side. It could be a corridor, or it could be that Aija is laying on the floor in some room, which I tell you, if this all goes down and Aija ends up dying in this room, never leaving it, that's probably what it would be. So again, Aija attempts to strike out forwards. Aya's been in here for what feels like hours of moving forwards through the light. Aya's eyes are starting to burn as Aija starts to stride forwards, attempting to find the next section. Man, Aija doesn't find the next section. That is another miss. So this would be 1 + 2 is 3. 3 does not beat a 6 or a 7. Okay. Let's roll for the interior part. Aya's not having a good time in here. What do we have? We have table 3, 37. Table 3, 37. Aija might have to go home. This might be too good. So we've got, this is hydroponic pods. The others kind of fit. Let's do that again. Table 2, 05. Table 2, 05. Biological growths. Alright, this gives a chance for Aya's health to be attacked. Okay. So as Aija is moving through this, the vault is old and Aija is still floating because there's still no gravity as Aija attempts. So push tapping for it wouldn't be. So Aija is just trying to propel themselves forwards, swimming in the light. Maybe Aija is now maybe Aija isn't. Right, Aija isn't actually walking. Aija is laying down on the floor, and the light isn't there. But what this is a biological growth. Some strange, very The Last of Us vines are starting to envelop Aija, and Aija doesn't realise this, but we now know, because we have realised that because of the zero gravity, that Aija is floating, and these vines are just encompassing and starting to penetrate the armour, probe and get through to the armour, and it is piercing the armour and going through. So that's a 2. 2 physical damage. Because I'm using the armour, I'm going to give myself an advantage here. On a strong hit with a plus take. So what have we got? If you so we're trusting the armour. If you do, preset your action dice to a 4. All right. So we will roll endure harm and give us the ability, because of the armour, to set the action dice. So Aija is now on 2 health. So can Aija endure this harm? So it's already rolled a 4. What's that plus? What do we roll? So plus health or iron, whichever is higher. Health is 2, so that gives us a 6, which beats the 4, which is a weak hit. On a weak hit, I may exchange 1 momentum for +1 health, which we will do. So we will exchange 1 momentum, taking Aija to 1 momentum and bringing Aija up to 3 health. As the armor begins to resist, and Aija starts to feel their body aching as they're still walking through the light and still trying to move forwards. So we've got waypoint 4. So we're not. All of these are very negative. So I can't really roll. I don't think I can roll, because even though it says here, on a miss, you are waylaid by a crisis or arrive at a waypoint to confront an immediate hardship or threat. So I think all of these are waylaying by a crisis. So all of these are a crisis or something happening to stop Aija reaching the next waypoint. This is like the outer defences of the vault, stopping Aija from moving forward and into the vault. So what was that? That was vines or biological attack against Aija. So Aija still hasn't moved out of this light. Aija is still trying to move through the corridor. Let's see if I can succeed on trying to move. So what can we try and do to give ourselves a plus? We can try and strike. There is, instead of just continuing to do this, we can attempt to secure an advantage. I don't know if we can at the moment, because so when you assess a situation, make preparations or attempt to gain. All right, so if we don't succeed on this one, which is number 5, I'm going to say that Aija starts to realise, or potentially starts to realise, that Aija, something is going wrong and Aija isn't in a corridor filled with light. That I'm going to say as securing an advantage. Aija is going to use their... I'm going to choose heart because it's Aya's best stat. And if Aija succeeds, then Aija will get a +1 on Aya's next roll to try and clear out from the expedition. And potentially with the plus momentum as well, because Aya's going to need it. So first off, Aija is attempting to move through this corridor of light. So we cut from the vines entwining and trying to pierce into the armor, and a small trickle of blood running along the white armor, dropping to the floor. Or no, it wouldn't drop to the floor, would it? 0 gravity. And then sort of drifting off into the 0 gravity. And Aija is now back into the corridor with the light and attempting to move forwards through the light. What do we have moving through the light? We have wits. That's a foul again. That's another foul. So the vines are piercing through even more. Blood starts to flow further, taking Aija to 1 health. I think as soon as we get a plot point for a respite, Aija is going to definitely have to crack out the healing stuff, because these vines. So Aya's knee is piercing a joint in the armor in the knee. In the side is piercing a joint in the armor in the side. Can Aija fight against the armor again? Can help with this. So we rolled a 5. This is a strong hit. So because we rolled a 5, if we're adding iron or health, both being 1, gives us a 6, which gives us a strong hit for enduring harm. A strong hit, choose 1, shake it off. You are not wounded, take +1 health. Embrace the pain, take +1 momentum. So I will shake it off and get +1 health. Now, because of all this additional pain, Aija is now going to... Aya's getting the thoughts that... So we can have an internal monologue. Seen as Aya's moving through the blinding light. Something's not right. there is something not right. So Aya's heart feels there's just something not going right here. There's something, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like this is real. Come on. So we've got a 5 plus 3 is 8, which beats our 7 but doesn't beat our 9. Securing an advantage, a hit, you succeed. On a strong hit, take both. On a weak hit, choose one. +2 momentum or +1 on your next move. We are going to take +1 on our next move. So what was that? So that was waypoint 5, which is the one we just did. Vines pierce further into armor. At waypoint 6, so Aya's been in here hours now. At waypoint 6, Aya is starting to feel that there's something not right about this room. The light doesn't. It's not so much burning Aya's eyes as burning Aya's brain. It's not feeling right at all. So Aya is using their wits to try and work out what's going wrong here. We've got a 3 +2 for wits, 5 +1 is a 6. Oh, is a weak hit. A weak hit. A weak hit. As above, but this progress costs you. So you reach a waypoint, envisage the location and mark progress per rank of the expedition. As above, but it costs. Suffer the cost on routes. Make a suffer move -2 or 2 suffer moves -1. Face a peril at the waypoint. Envisage what you encounter. So what I think, face a peril at the waypoint. Envisage what you encounter. So we will roll the interior and then decide. So part of what, so it's either going to be the shock of it's not real will be a -1 spirit, and tearing the vines out of the armor and out of Aya's flesh will be a -1 health. So 2 -1 suffers, and then we'll try and endure the stress and the pain, try and get that resolved. Or we'll see what this is. So Aya comes to in this room that we vaguely described. So now let's actually see what this actual room is. We have 276. So table 2, 76, unintelligible recorded message. Okay, we'll keep that unintelligible recorded message. So Aya is going to take a -1 health and a -1 stress. Aya realizes that they are floating in this room, that there's blood floating in the air all around Aya, because Aya's basically gone from 4 health to 1. The shock overcomes Aya, potentially. Let's see if it does overcome Aya, which I've rolled so far. These yellow dice roll too high, and this blue one doesn't roll high enough. This is, does the shock overcome Aya? Yes, that is a miss. In all way, shape or form, that is a miss. It's worse than you thought. Suffer an additional -1 spirit or lose if your spirit. So additional -1 spirit. Okay, so the shock of this happening. If Aya misses on this, endure harm, Aya then is on 0 health, and this has been bad for Aya. Aya is on 1 spirit now. Aya really needs to sort of take some time and have a rest and have a bit of a meditate. I think Aya needs to burn some incense, put on some candles, like put some rose petals in a bath, and really just take some time for Aya. Maybe listen to some Enya. That was back when I was at uni. Maybe listen to some Enya, you know, take some time for themselves, pour a glass of wine, relax in a bath, bit of soap suds, just have a bit of relax. But anyway, Aya begins to frantically, terrified about what these vines are, what this organic thing, begins to pull their waist dagger and hack at these vines that are piercing into their flesh. Dig in to try and pull that out. I'm going to see if I can get it out. We have, oh, this might be, so we have a 5 and a 3 rolling a 4. Enduring harm is plus health or plus iron, whichever is higher. Both is 1, so that's a 5 versus a 5 and a 3, so this is a weak hit. May lose 1 momentum to gain 1 health. So Aya spends ages hacking all of this out, pulling the vines apart to get themselves ready and sorted and in a position to move forwards. So Aya okay, so if we, so we've actually, so that was a weak hit, wasn't it? Which was as above. You reach a waypoint, envisage your location, and mark progress per the rank of the expedition. Right. So let's. Where did I put my pencil? There it is. So our expedition, we can mark progress, which is what is it? It's 2 ticks, wasn't it? 1, 2, 2 ticks. So I need 4. Yeah, that's it. So 2 ticks. Yes, only on the 6th waypoint. So we are at a waypoint now. This waypoint involves, so when you divert from expedition to examine a notable location. So what I realise is the room that Aya is in is like a wet room. Is a vault, a primordial. So it's an antechamber. There are various different machines on the wall, and I can't quite work out where the exit is from this room. So Aya is going to explore this room on the understanding that what did we have? We had unintelligible recorded message. So Aya is going to explore this room and is going to come across some recordings whilst exploring the room. So we will. So we've got, I don't think I've actually done this properly. Explore a waypoint. So we are at a waypoint. We will explore the waypoint. On a strong hit, choose 1. On a strong hit with a match, you may instead make a discovery. So 1 is find an opportunity, envisage a favourable insight, situation, result or encounter, and then take +2 momentum. Gain progress. Mark progress on your expedition per its rank. Fine. And a weak hit, you uncover something interesting but is bound up in a peril or reveals an ominous aspect of this place. Envisage what you encounter, take +1 momentum. On a miss, you encounter an immediate hardship or threat and must pay the price. I'll roll. On a miss with the match, confront chaos. Sweet. So we are rolling wits. Aya is exploring this room, exploring these weird recordings. Ooh. So we've got a 6 plus wits is 8. An 8 beats the 1, which gives us a weak hit. You uncover something interesting but is bound up in peril or reveals an ominous aspect of this place. Envisage what you encounter and then take +1 momentum. Happily puts us on 1 momentum. After fiddling with the machines and fiddling with the various devices, a small hatch which will require, which is very low down on the ground, so as though the people who were in here must have been much shorter than Aya is. But as that happens, that strange ungarbled message unveils itself, and it is in a language that Aya now understands, but Aya knows that this isn't what she's hearing, this is what's in her head. Turn back. There is only death beyond this door. Turn back. your sanity will be taken from you. Turn back. Your blood will be ours. And Aya hunches down and crawls into this conduit passageway to move forwards deeper into the vault. So what do we have? So that waypoint, we had ominous message. I don't know if it's ominous. OUS message. Warning not to proceed. And I really should take heed of this because I is in a bad way. So I continues down this passageway and continues Aya's expedition. Well, weak hit. We have a 10 and a 1 with a 1. We are rolling wits, which gives us a 3, which beats the 1, so we have a weak hit. So weak hit as above. So we reach a waypoint, envisage a location, and mark progress. So we mark progress. Our first box. We're on waypoint 7. So what does Aya see in this next bit? So as above, but this progress cost, choose one, suffer costs en route, make a suffer move 2 or suffer move -1, face the peril or envisage what you encounter. We could consume, so Aya's been in here ages, maybe Aya is going to consume supplies, which would be consuming 2 supplies, putting Aya down to 1 supply, which isn't great. So Aya is going to see where this passageway opens up into, which is an interior feature. Is there anything else apart from interior feature? Interior peril. Oh, okay, alright. Interior opportunity. So there's interior peril. So maybe what we'll do is we're going to roll interior feature and then we'll roll the peril, see if the peril gives us a bit of a thought. So interior feature is a 401. That's better. 401. Table 401. Bulkheads closing off passages. Okay. So as Aya is still in this passageway, still progressing down this passageway. So this is reach a waypoint, envisage a location, mark progress per the rank of the expedition. Okay. Alright, yeah. Okay. Bulkheads. So Aya is moving down the passageway and getting cramped, feeling cramped, and is reaches a main bulkhead. So each of the bulkhead doors that Aya is passing down this passageway have been sealed, and Aya hasn't been able to get them open. As Aya reaches the last passage, the door which faces Aya, because there's ones down the side which faces them, cramped pipes, slightly hunched over, but not quite on hands and knees. As Aya moves down, scraping their armor against the sides every now and then. The final door is also won't open, so Aya starts to dig through their pack, removes a tiny little handheld acetylene torch to try and cut their way through this bulkhead, which will then consume 2 of Aya supplies, as Aya spends hours here and has to have something to eat and have a rest. Now maybe this will give Aya a chance to either regain spirit or regain health, as Aya attempts to get through here and move on. So this would be a prime time because Aya is consuming resources. So we've got healing and hearten. When you socialise, share intimacy, or find a moment of peace. So I think Aya can do one of these 2. Now Aya's spirit is on 1 and Aya's health is on 2. So though Aya could crack out the medkit and do a bit of self-healing, instead Aya is going to take some time to find some inner peace. Maybe I will listen to some music, eat some of Aya's food, drink some of water, and have basically a rest because Aya is feeling tired. So Aya's going to attempt to take some time, regain some spirit and hearten, and really hope that Aya rolls well. So this is plus heart, which gives us an 8 versus a 6 and a 9. So that's a weak hit. So a weak hit, as above, but this indulgence is fleeting, envisage an interruption, complication, or inner conflict. On a strong hit, I know, because this is what I often do whilst watching television, sitting on the lounge. You find companionship or comfort, and your spirit is strengthened. If you're shaken, clear the impact, take plus spirit. Otherwise, take plus 2 spirit. So, Aya takes plus 2 spirit. Tick tock. But as Aya begins to doze off, Aya's head falls back and cracks against the wall behind them, pulling them to a jolt, making them lose 1 momentum, taking them to 0 momentum. And that's when Aya cracks out the acetylene torch and begins to cut way through bulkhead. What's the time? We can still do a couple of waypoints. Waypoint 8. Okay. So Aya cuts through, though this would be a good point ending, wouldn't it? Aya cuts through the bulkhead, and then we end with the door opening and find out what's behind. But I don't know. I don't like the idea of finishing on waypoint 7, odd number. Oh, lucky 7. It's the number everyone guesses. Oh, what were we going to roll? We were going to roll some. Oh, peril, wasn't it? But we did that, didn't we? No, we didn't. I think this is the peril. Suffer en route. Yeah, alright, let's roll peril. Interior peril. What do we get? Oh no. That's my yellow dice. 441. So 441. Interior peril 441. Lack of atmosphere. It's really depressing in here. Of course there's a lack of atmosphere. There's no atmosphere at all. It's alone in here, there's no kind of atmosphere. She's all alone. It's all alone. They are all alone, more or less. Take me. Okay. Continuing the exploration on to the next waypoint. So Aya opens the door and steps in to continue exploring the internal workings of the vault. We've got wits, that gives us a 7 versus a 1 and a 9, gives us a weak hit. Okay, so Aya marks progress, envisage where Aya is. I'm going to use the red ones now, but there will either be suffering a cost or face a peril, which was that internal peril, wasn't it? Okay, so we will face a peril at the waypoint. So we're at the waypoint, and the waypoint is, so what does opening, what's behind this door? 176. So 176 behind this. Oh, that's the unintelligible recording. We've had that. Unless there's another one. It's a bit boring though. We have 548. Table 548. Life form remains on display. Ooh. Hanging bodies. Hanging bodies? No, bodies. Ah. Oh, the same as what they would hang on. I don't know if they. Oh, they must have really done this. Put prisoners in cages and put them at crossroads as a warning to people or outside towns and cities. So, but these are in glass jars. So bodies. So strange bodies in glass jars. As Aija comes out, there's these strange bodies in glass jars. Well, that would be. So let's see what the peril is. Let's roll on peril. Although I'm assuming. Oh gosh. Oh, Aija's spirit is up, so I might be able to take a hit, a -2 hit on spirit. But let's see what our peril suggests. That what the peril in this next bit is. We've got 481, so 481 shifts in gravity. Okay, let's do a 1 and a 1 then. So we'll have a health and a spirit as Aija is about to explore the waypoint. So Aya's going to explore the waypoint, and then we're going to have a bad thing happen to Aija as Aija is. So this room is a large room, and it's full of these glass. Alien X. We've all seen sci-fi films with these glass things full of liquid, but each creature that Aija can interpret the emotions of within these things looks terrified and in pain. Frozen facial features of pain and fear. You can tell when a cat is scared and in pain. You can tell, well, I can't tell when a fish is scared and in pain, but any mammal that Aija could interpret, all of this room is full of that. So Aija is going to make her way through exploring, and when reaching the end, just the hardship of dealing with that, and whatever is going to happen, Aija is going to take a -1 health and a -1 spirit. Maybe it's from the bleeding. So we've got it. Oh, wow, that's pretty good. So this is waypoint, which is wits. So it gives us a 7 versus a 6 and a 4, which gives us a strong hit. Sadly, not with a match. I really wanted to make a discovery. So a strong hit. Choose one. Find an opportunity. Envisage a favourable insight, situation, resource, or encounter, and then take +2. Gain progress. Mark progress on your expedition per its rank. Sweet. I'm going to mark progress. So Aija finds, which gives us 2 boxes. Aija finds the way out, and Aija. So that's a strong hit, wasn't it? Yes. So we are just marking progress. Aija finds a door. Bodies in glass. So Aija finds a door, which is why Aija got to mark progress, which will lead to way point 9. So as Aija pulls themselves past all these glass jars, one of them catches Aya's hand, being the -1 health, and just all of that fear reduces Aya's spirit. So Aija is going to endure harm, attempt to bandage Aya's wounds, which would be plus iron, which is 1, which is a failure. I think that makes it worse, which means that Aija is going to continue bleeding and actually hit 0 health. So that was a failure in enduring harm, which is a miss. It's worse than you thought. Suffer an additional -1 health or lose 2 momentum. That would put Aija on negative momentum. If your health is now 0, you must also mark wounded or permanently harmed. So I think Aija has become wounded. The bleeding has started to become too much. Wounded. So Aija has an impact. This is the first impact. which isn't bad for, what was it, session 7? So impacts. Impacts represent temporary, long-term, or permanent disadvantages. Moves will tell you when to mark an impact, or may give you an option to mark an impact to avoid a greater danger. Impacts reduce your maximum momentum. Each marked impact reduces your maximum momentum by 1. So Aija's maximum momentum has now become 9. Plus 9. Impacts also reduce your momentum reset. If you have one marked impact, your momentum reset is plus 1. So when we burn, we reset to plus 1. Though we haven't actually had an opportunity to do that because Aija keeps losing momentum. Wounded may be marked when you are 0 health and fail to endure harm. You are severely injured. So Aija has lost a lot of blood. Aija has lost a lot of blood and is continuing on 106. So what we will have, so we are ending at waypoint 9. So I'm going to do that, and then so for session, try and write neatly, for session 8 I became wounded from loss of blood in room with glass jars full of bodies. So as Aija approaches end of room, a door opens. Dot dot dot. Session 8. Waypoint 9. Dear me. Things have not been going very well for Aija. Aija has not been getting an easy break of it. Poor old Aija. End session. Reflect on the events of the game and identify any missed opportunities to mark progress. No, I think we've marked the progress we're supposed to mark. Aija is on 2 completed boxes within the expedition. If you moved forward on a quest, reach a milestone. So yes, Aija has moved forward, but not. I don't think Aija has found anything dramatic to lead them onto either of the other valve tracks that Aija's been doing. If there is a quest connection or other situation you would like to give focus to in your next session, make a note of it and take a +1. So I've made a note of what's happening. So the door's opening as Aija moves forward with exploring the vault, and we take +1 momentum. Just as a recap, Aija is now on 1 momentum, and because Aija is wounded, so Aija's max and reset are reduced. Aija is on 0 health. Aija is on +2 spirit, and Aija only has 1 supply left. Aija is going to need to find something good, which I think if Aija gets the strong hit with match when exploring a waypoint, Aija may find some area where Aija can do 1 of 2 of resupply, rest with spirit, or health. I think that would be a good thing to do if that happens. Otherwise, Aija is looking in a bad way, and we need to find out next time if Aija can survive exploring this vault. For now, we're job done.